Well, we continue on a Sunday. What a clever transition that was. We take a shot of the mural showing the Beatles, and we are going to talk about the Beatles for a couple of minutes here. Everybody remembers the Beatles from back in the 1960s. And for about the last year or more, a show called Beatlemania has been knocking them dead in New York, and here in Los Angeles, it's now playing at the Pantages Hollywood. And we have the four stars of Beatlemania. Ladies and gentlemen, on my far left is Joe Pecorino, who plays John Lennon. On my left is Mitch Weissman, what an incredible likeness, who plays Paul McCartney. I am not the fifth Beatle. I am not Murray the K, but here I am anyway. And on my right is Leslie Fradkin, who plays George Harrison. And next to him is Justin McNeill, who plays Ringo. Now, all four of these people are from New York. They're from New York, but they talk British, you know, in the show. They have to practice the accent. You got that down pat, right?
Yeah, we got it down real good.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
You know, a lot of the people that come to the show, I would imagine, are young kids that really don't remember the Beatles at all. I mean, some of them weren't born, and some of them were little tykes when the Beatles came out. Do you get the feeling that some of them were looking at you and thinking, hey, those are the Beatles? To me, they're the Beatles. And is that kind of intimidating to you?
It's great. We get a lot of fan mail, especially from people that are under 20. And to them, we are kind of like the Beatles to them, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they tell us, you're just like Ringo or something. I miss the Beatles, and, you know, like, they hopefully they'll buy our cast album that we have out here.
Now, wait a minute. And I know that you play in front of thousands of people, and they scream and they stomp just like they did when the real Beatles were here in this country about 10 years ago. Do they try to mob you? You know, get in the car?
Sometimes we have people running up on stage, you know, and they get thrown off.
That's part of it, I suppose, you'd want to just kind of pass on, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. But, you know, they get crazy, but then there are other nights when there's a real sort of nice theater, older audience, because it's a theatrical experience. Sure. It's not just a rock concert, you know, in terms. It's a hybrid sort of show in that, you know, you got a history lesson of the 60s.
You spent 8 or 9 months in a recording studio trying to get the moves and the...
We're trying to forget. Very
well, I'm going to bring it up one more time.
Okay, sure.
The voice inflections. What was that like? Did you study films and listen to the albums?
We studied almost all the films that the Beatles ever had.
So we listened to as many of the records as we could get our hands on, and sometimes, you know, versions of the records on bootlegs just, you know, you can't hear the rhythm track on Long and Winding Road too easily on the Let It Be album, so we had to go and watch the film and see how they rehearsed it.
The most difficult part was deciding. The Beatles had so much recorded music, and the bootlegs there was almost enough bootleg material, live concert footage of them, that it became tough to decide which version to do, which would the public, you know, accept from us. Should we stick more closely to the records, or since we're going to be performing live, should we go for some of the live performances? And so I think we picked a pretty good hybrid between the two. What
about voice inflections? You had to learn to a certain type of voice, didn't you, for John?
Yeah, Lennon's. Well, you know, the funny thing about it is that since I was like 15, I was kidding around with talking English accents. I always thought great English people had great accents, you know, being from the Bronx and everything. But I was really practicing it when I was 16 or 17, you know, anyway. But we went in the studio, and it's easier to sing the songs because they didn't sound very English on the songs, you know.
Right.
They really didn't. They sounded more English, and we don't do a lot of talking in this show.
You know what's incredible is that I remember when they came on the scene, everybody thought, boy, their hair is so long. Boy, that's really revolutionary, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But you compare it to today, of course, I guess shorts back in now.
Yeah, it's coming back.
But the hair wasn't really that long at all, was it?
No, it wasn't that long. It got very long towards the end, and even McCartney's. I mean, my hairstyle on the show, I don't change very, very much. Everybody, the boys here,
go through, like, because Lennon's hair got crazy, you know.
Did you even before the show get mistaken for Paul McCartney? Because you look an awful lot like him.
I got mistaken for him more before the show.
Really?
Than after, because now there is a show, and so there is someone walking around looking like him, so they figure that must be me.
Did people ever run after you on the streets, or you'd say, no, I'm not, and they'd say, oh, come on, we know you are?
Well, very often, Joe and I have had a number of experiences where we've been at concerts, and I've had to pass myself off as him, or else we couldn't get out of the Madison Square Garden was one
Helps
place.
Getting into places.
Yes,
you get a table at the restaurant.
Don't you know this guy? Let him in.
Leslie, you on the Ed Sullivan Show, the Beatles appearance there, I think you watched that, didn't you? And
yeah,
didn't that kind of have an effect on you, or was sort of a turning point for you?
Yeah, my mother mother made me turn it off. She didn't want me to see them.
Well, thank you very much.
But yeah, it did. I wanted to play electric guitar after that, so I've been obsessed ever since with Beatles stuff.
Have you gotten any feedback from any of the Beatles about what you're doing and about how they feel about it?
Well, there's been a lot of conflicting stories.
I know.
Firsthand, Ringo has come off in a variety of articles saying that whoever, including us, whoever is using the Beatles now, ripping off, will get theirs in the end. It's sort of like Lennon's instant karma is going to get you. Paul has said a number of things through his lawyers and through his wife, and has not said anything on his own, but it's all been said that way. I met Ringo, and he gave me a little comical response to his meeting me, and he looked at me and said, well, I know the real one. And that was all I got out of him.
Are you trying to say that they don't like it?
It doesn't look good, you know. It doesn't
look good, folks.
We've had a lot of people who know them come see the show, and I'm sure they've gotten favorable reaction from their friends and everything. Paul Simon saw the show in New York and said he was going to go tell George about it. So
Mick Fleetwood saw the show.
But it doesn't look twice. You know? I don't know. Maybe someday. And even if they did go see the show, they'd have to see it incognito anyway. You know? So you never know. They might have walked in.
So if you guys are in town, we'd appreciate it very much.
Over to the
come over to the Pantages Theater in Hollywood.
And of course, when this all goes down and this ends, you have to drop one guy and you can do the Bee Gees and come back in a couple of years. And
Dave Clark will do.
Dave Clark. We'll pick up one more. We'll pick up one more.
Hey, thanks a lot. Beatlemania at the Hollywood Pantages. Good to see you guys. All right.
See you then.
Let's go to Kelly Lang. Kel.
And that's our program live from Lincoln Park in East Los Angeles today.